Are you happy in your job but wondering if it's time to move on? Stay tuned to learn a 3-card spread that can give you some guidance. Hi everybody, I'm Sue Ellen Clayton. Welcome to my channel where we're learning how to read tarot 1 card at a time. In today's reading, we'll be using a 3-card spread to answer the question, is it time for me to change my job? I will be using the Radiant Rider-Waite Tarot, and there is a link below. This question was posted anonymously online by a person who I will call Martin. Martin did not give any other information about how he earns a living. I find myself saying this more and more in videos, and that is that people need to pay attention to their intuition. There must be some reason why Martin is asking this question. He's either unhappy with something or he's picking up on some kind of signal that things will be changing in the future. Martin drew 3 cards. He did not say that he used a spread. However, I will be using the 3-card pros and cons spread to help figure out if it's time for Martin to dust off his resume. Card number 1 shows the benefits of Martin staying at his current job. Martin drew the Lovers. Card number 2 shows the downside of Martin staying at his current job. Martin drew the Tower. Card number 3 shows the overall outcome if Martin stays at his current job. Martin drew the Fool. Let's begin by looking at my first impression. We have 3 major arcana cards, so this is a big deal for Martin. My eye is immediately drawn to the Tower in the downside position, so I don't think that things will go well if Martin stays, despite the fact that things look pretty peaceful in the Lovers card. In the outcome position, we see the Fool, so it looks like if Martin stays, he will end up starting a new journey and looking for work. Let's look at each card individually and see if I am right. Card number 1 shows the benefits of Martin staying at his current job. Martin drew the Lovers. The Lovers card is not just about finding a romantic partner. It can also represent business partnerships and other relationships. I believe that is the case here, and we are seeing Martin with one of his colleagues. I think that the Lovers card lets us know that there are a few big advantages of Martin's current job. The first is protection. We can see the Archangel Raphael taking up the biggest portion of the card. His wings are outstretched and offering protection to the couple/employees. I think that the benefits are the big plus of Martin's job. These would include a regular paycheck and possibly health insurance, paid vacation, a 401k, the ability to work remotely, and maybe some additional benefits such as subsidized childcare. Unless you're independently wealthy, which I am not, these are important. Most of us rely on our jobs to pay our living expenses, and we are willing to put up with the workplace issues so that we can pay our bills. Martin also likes that he gets along well with his fellow employees. You can see they are naked and he doesn't feel like there are any secrets between them. Martin doesn't pretend to be someone he's not, and neither do his coworkers. The job is in alignment with his skills, beliefs, and values. We also see the couple standing at the same level. Martin likes this as well. Everybody gets along. There's not a big hierarchy. People collaborate and everybody pitches in as needed. Having the male and female on the same level also shows a balance of the rational and the emotional. The man represents the rational mind and the female represents emotions. This demonstrates that his current job is very fulfilling to Martin, as it balances practical reasons he works, such as his salary and a chance for advancement, with emotional needs, such as enjoying time with his coworkers. I do think that there are elements in this card that serve as a warning of what comes next. One thing is the mountain behind the couple, which is a symbol for obstacles. But the bigger warning is Archangel Raphael. We usually read this as meaning that Archangel Raphael is protecting the couple, yet he is blocking out the sun, which represents clarity. Instead, the couple finds themselves under cloud cover, which can indicate confusion or things that can't be seen. I think you can also read the card to mean that Archangel Raphael is hiding the truth from the employees. He's created a barrier between what's going on and hiding problems that exist. So despite the fact that everything looks hunky-dory to Martin and he believes that the company is doing well, it's really not. Card number 2 shows the downside of Martin staying at his current job and Martin drew the Tower. The Tower is about shocking, unexpected changes that create upheaval in your life, such as a job loss. I have gone through job losses a couple of times with my husband, both of which required a 3,000-mile move for him to find something else, so I know firsthand how much losing your job rocks your world. In Martin's case, I think this is more than having his department downsized because the company is restructuring. This feels like one of those catastrophic things like bankruptcy or something a company can't recover from. I did some research, and it's not uncommon for a company to go from a leader to a loser. You might be familiar with some of these names of companies we thought would be around forever but made big mistakes. These include Blockbuster Video, who refused to enter the world of online streaming; BlackBerry, who didn't believe that the iPhone was serious competition; Kodak, who didn't promote the digital camera for fear it would destroy their film business; or Toys R Us, who decided not to build up their e-commerce following. These are stressful because employees felt like they worked for a rock-solid company. Kodak, for instance, was more than 120 years old when it filed for bankruptcy in 2012. It might also be that Martin's company was hit with something like an unexpected lawsuit or events that caused the business to collapse. Here's an example. I have celiac disease, so I can't eat any foods that contain wheat, barley, or rye. You may be surprised to learn that in the United States, it's not uncommon for deli meat to contain wheat. That's why I've always been a big fan of the Boar's Head brand, which is sold in the deli section of most grocery stores across the United States, because their meats are all gluten-free. I'm recording this video in mid-October 2024. There have now been at least 59 people in 19 states who have been sickened by Listeria bacteria and 10 people who have died. Listeria was first detected in liverwurst made at a Boar's Head plant in Virginia. Inspection reports have been seriously gross and included things like mold, insects, dripping water, and my personal favorite, meat and fat residue on the walls, floors, and equipment. I have no idea what's happened to Boar's Head sales because they are a private company, so their financials don't have to be disclosed. I do know they closed the plant in Virginia. But personally, I haven't bought any of their products since the first recall was announced in the spring. It will take a lot to win me back as a customer, and I expect that I'm not the only person who isn't keen to buy their meats. So that's an example of a Tower-like experience that may cause him to lose his job. Whatever the cause, the Tower card indicates a dangerous, chaotic environment. Here we have a stone watchtower on a mountaintop. There are no doors and 3 tall windows, so theoretically this should be extremely safe. Yet it must have been on a very shaky foundation if a single lightning bolt could destroy it. All of this is to say that I don't think that Martin should plan on staying with his current job because it won't be around much longer. If he does stay, he will have no control over what's going on. Martin and his co-workers will likely be forced to exit, probably very quickly. Martin needs to leave while he can. You've made it this far in the video, and I wanted to stop and ask for a favor if you're not already a subscriber, and that is to please hit the subscribe button. It's free for you, and it will also help me to grow this channel. Plus, it means that you won't miss anything. Thanks so much, and if you're already a subscriber, I truly appreciate your ongoing support. Now let's get back to the video. Card number 3 shows the overall outcome if Martin stays at his current job. Martin drew the Fool. The Fool is the first card of the Major Arcana. It's a card about new beginnings, fresh starts, taking risks, and leaving the past behind. If Martin stays at his current job, he will be forced to start something new. This would be outside of what he is doing now. It might be a new position, working with new people, or working at a new location. All of the things he enjoyed about his current job could potentially be gone. One of the things about the Fool is that he's very naive. As we can see on the card, he's focused on the sunny skies above him. He doesn't notice that he's ready to step off a cliff and plunge into the frigid waters below. Hills and mountains are about challenges, and he's not paying attention to the bad things that exist around him. This might mean that if Martin stayed with his current employer, he would not realize that the company was having difficulties. Instead, he'd continue on his merry way and be blindsided when he no longer had a job. I think it's more likely, given what we saw in the previous Tower card, that Martin will be forced to look for a new job after some kind of a catastrophic event. And because he's so naive, Martin hasn't put in the work required to find new employment. Something else to look at is the small satchel that the Fool is carrying. He doesn't have a lot of possessions. I think this could indicate that Martin would not have a lot left after the company folded. He would lose the benefits we talked about in the Lovers, such as his paycheck, health insurance, and 401k. Even though he's putting a sunny spin on it, he could end up in a pretty precarious situation financially. I think Martin needs to heed these warnings and find a new job. Let's summarize. Martin's question was, is it time for me to change my job? Card number 1, the Lovers, shows the benefits of Martin staying at his current job. On first glance, his job looks pretty good. He has good benefits, likes his coworkers, and the job suits him well. On the downside, I wonder if Archangel Raphael is hiding the truth from the employees and things aren't going as well as Martin thinks they are. Card number 2, the Tower, shows the downsides of Martin staying at his current job. We see that Martin's formerly safe job was actually built on a shaky foundation and has become a dangerous, chaotic environment. If Martin stays, he will have no control over what's going on and will likely be forced to leave. Card number 3, the Fool, shows the overall outcome if Martin stays at his current job, and that is that he will need to start over and look for a new job. This card is also a warning because if Martin isn't prepared to look for work, he risks losing everything. I hope that this video gave you some ideas that you can apply to your tarot practice. Please leave a comment if you'd like to share what you've learned. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.